All right, well, we're back, and today it's time to discuss rule number 3, which is provide clarity. Now, I know what you must be thinking, Joe, this is not very profound, but please stay tuned. I think I have some great nuggets for you today. All right, so a few thoughts around providing clarity. The goal in your agency proposal is to define the spirit of the work. You want to avoid two ditches. On one side, you have vagueness, which can cause all sorts of problems. But then you also don't want to go to the other side and have a 50-page proposal where you're spelling everything out. You want to do just enough so that you've defined the spirit of the work. Now, inside of your proposal, you can have questions that come out of vagueness. What you want to do is you want to preempt the most common questions you might have and embed the answers to those inside so that you have kind of a, as I mentioned earlier, in an earlier video, an automated question answering, right? You'll have a lot less questions to answer if you're clear. And also when you're clear, you're able to push back. Oftentimes agencies are not clear enough, and so they have one of two options. They can be a jerk and arbitrarily say this project just needs to be done, or they can just be at the mercy, play the nice guy, be at the mercy of their prospect or their customer, and make what I call agency minimum wage. All right, so with this video, I'd like to show you some practical examples. So I'm actually going to open up Smart Pricing Table. And I have a proposal here. It's a fictional proposal from an agency called Rocket. And when I click on Scope of Work, you can see a bunch of different line items from my previous video about creating an offering catalog. This is what I'm talking about. Having modules that you can add and adjust very quickly. Let's look at this blog line item here. When it comes to clarity, so I start with a summary sentence, create blog for client. Maybe you spell it a little bit more than that. But then I go into what's included. And I like to use a bulleted list. The bulleted list is easy for you to generate. You might even enjoy it because it's really thinking through your offering. But a bulleted list is also easy for your prospect to scan, very digestible. And then I also have a limiter here that says, note there's a max of 2 design revisions included. You see how I've created the spirit of the work? We're going to do the blog homepage and then an individual landing page. Oh, and there's 2 design revisions included. I can always do 3, but I don't have to. I have some handles to grab onto. In addition, when we're talking about making things clear, configurations or modifications can be really helpful. So you've got this base offering here, but with this setup, a prospect can click on some additional things. So maybe they want to do MailChimp, social sharing, and they're adding some additional features with additional descriptions. It's also clear what's not included. They clicked on MailChimp and social sharing. They did not click on author bio page or advanced search. And so the goal, if you combine this concept with the previous video, you want to create clear, comprehensive, reusable line items that are stored in a library so you can build things quickly. And as your projects go and you're learning, maybe this line wasn't here previously. Maybe that wasn't part of your blog line item, but a project goes over and over and over. And so you go back and you say, well, what could have made this better? Well, let's add a limitation to the amount of design revisions. You put that in your library, and in the future, you don't have that issue again. So clarity plus creating a catalog is of huge gain. In my next video, I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about options a little bit more and the power of options. And I'll share a story or two. I also love to kind of just share how much of an impact it made on our bottom line at my old agency. So stay tuned, and I look forward to sharing you some more information with you tomorrow.